Even all Marcus here, back again with another video, back again with a VR video, and I have the DPVR E4C headset available. Now, this is a commercial kind of focused headset, so it's mainly for kind of arcades like mine and people who have like a roller coaster machine or something like that they kind of want to put a simple 3DOF PC headset onto. Now, this shares similar specs to its sort of a brother or sister called the E4 without the C, and that's the kind of one that you can get for about sort of $400 or $500. It's a PC VR headset. I actually quite like it. I actually use it on my racing sims inside my VR arcade. I've got 6 of them. We swapped over from the Rift S headset about 2 months ago to the DPVR, and it's been really good. The kind of facial interface is quite nice, fits pretty much all glasses, comes with lens protectors, nice high resolution, pretty much just works without any kind of issues. With the Rift S we used to sometimes lose sound, or the Oculus software would just mess up and you'd have to reboot the whole system to make it work. So far with the DPVR E4, touch wood, the white version of this headset, it's been pretty fine. Very rarely have an issue. Worst case issue is you just have to restart the DPVR software and it's all working, but that's rare, and that's usually like a first thing in the morning thing when you get in, you turn it all on and it just hasn't booted up correctly. So you just restart the software and it's up and running, and so far, touch wood, no real issues. I know some people seem to have overheating issues, but I don't know if that's just because ours are just sat down, no controllers, you're not playing anything too strenuous, mainly kind of racing games and kind of Vox Machina that we run on our racing seats, but it's been a reliable headset. But we're now going to open this E4C headset. So here's the E4 headset, so E4C, so it stands for commercial, so this is the commercial version of the headset. So it's not, as I say, it's not aimed for kind of your average Joe. This was more made for those kind of commercial roller coaster type machines. That's what you get inside it. Interestingly enough, the E4, the normal version, comes with a power supply, and this one just runs off 2 USB cables. So you have to plug it in with 2 USB cables rather than 1, but I guess that gives it enough power to be able to run without having to use a separate power supply, which is actually quite good. The little connector by the headset is a lot smaller. The last one, the E4 one, was huge, so this is nice. I do worry about kind of, you know, the strain on the cable and that sort of thing, but this has definitely got a thicker, more sort of durable feeling cable compared to the E4. It's still got that sort of rubbery sort of top strap. It's got a pleather back, and unfortunately at the moment it comes with this fabric-y kind of interface, which is not nice. However, I think it's Velcroed on, so in theory you could take it off. You could probably pop some other kind of facial interface pleathery type thing on there. Maybe it wouldn't fit perfectly, but we'd see. Doesn't come with lens protectors. Now that's a big downside, because the space inside the headset, there isn't a ton of space. I mean, you can fit most glasses in there. The E4 itself is quite good for glasses spacing, but the E4 itself comes with lens protectors. So this needs those lens protectors. So if I do end up using this on one of my kind of racing sims, which I'm going to test it on, I will take those off the other one and put them on this one, because they're pretty much a must, because people's glasses are going to be rubbing against these lenses, just ruin them. To be fair, not been much of an issue on our roller coaster machine, which we do have the E4, no, not the E4, the E3C, which is kind of the predecessor to this headset in theory. But it's got the flippy up design, it's got a halo strap, cables kind of tethered to the side there. The normal version, the E4, has audio in the head strap. I don't know if this really does. We'll have to test that. I'm not sure. And the normal version has a 3.5mm audio jack on the breakout box, or there, sorry, in there. But I don't know if that's a real one or a fake one. I'll have to plug in a pair of headphones when we've got this all set up just to double check. It looks different inside the hole there, so I'm not sure if it's really got the connections for it, but I'll double check and I'll let you know. So let's go set this up, and then I'll come back to you kind of with some initial thoughts. All right, so here we go, all set up, ready to go. You do need plug-in headphones, so the inbuilt audio, what looks like inbuilt audio, isn't really inbuilt audio. Does not work. So you do need to plug in some headphones. Thankfully, just down the cable there, you can plug in some headphones, which To be fair, most kind of, if you're using these on the egg seats, they'd have their own audio in them. Oh, there's me crashing. Speakers in the seats themselves, they usually do. And if you're super serious about your racing, you might you want to use headphones anyway. A lot of sort of serious racing centres do. And as you can see, I'm a bit more casual with my racing, so we don't care as much, and we quite like the onboard sort of off-the-ear audio that we get from the E4 itself. So the E4, which you can see hanging up there, it actually puts out audio a bit similar to like the Quest headsets and stuff like that, which I quite like. Enables us to kind of, you know, talk to 6 players at the same time. They're not kind of locked away inside headsets. Makes it kind of easier to kind of set up games and organise stuff. But if you're obviously serious about it, you do need to plug in some headphones, because you can't use them without headphones, this one. And the headphones work straight away, first time, plugged them straight in, no issues. Headset setup was super easy, just plug in both USBs, plug in what's it called, DisplayPort cable, and then install the software. So you need to install the normal DPVR Assistant, not the one that comes with the E4. That's a more commercial version. Download that, install it, run through kind of Steam VR setup to set your boundary, and you're pretty much away and running. I had no issues with setup, it just worked straight away. Nice and smooth, super perfect. The display looks just as clear as the E4, the normal E4. It's 3 DOF rather than 6 DOF, so it has no cameras on it. And it's just tracking your head rotation. And I'll be honest, with racing games, you rarely kind of feel the difference, because you don't move your head around very much. Most players keep their heads very still when they're racing. They just kind of turn around and look. So it's actually kind of makes life a little bit easier. You just recenter your headset, and then in theory it should be locked to that and have no issues the entire time, because in a commercial environment you don't want it messing up and going different ways and resetting and going backwards and all that sort of stuff. So the more reliable you can make the headset, the better. Comfort wise, it's about the same as the normal E4. The facial interface still just kind of sit off your face slightly, but it works quite well. As I say, it is fabric, so hopefully they're going to bring out either a pleather version or maybe a silicone version like they have with the original E4. It looks like you can probably swap the interfaces. I did take the lens protectors off the normal E4 and put them on this one. They did fit. Had to take the interface off, which just kind of clips off to be able to do so. So hopefully they'll include those lens protectors, because it's a very small, cheap little sort of accessory, but it kind of definitely prolongs the life of the headset, especially if you're going to use it in something like this in racing. I think for sim racing and all sort of seated VR experiences, this is actually pretty much a win headset. I do like it. The Halo strap's quite nice. I don't like the elasticy kind of top strap. I feel that kind of like pushes the headset off your head a little bit. So on the normal E4 you can kind of see I've taken them off, they're not actually even there. But other than that, comfort wise, pretty good. And I've got some earbuds in at the moment for sound. Actually, it's kind of how I prefer the sound. If I was going to have them, I wouldn't want over the ear big fat headphones, so I'll just go for these little sort of earbud type ones anyway. Commercial wise, you probably wouldn't use those sort of ones. You'd have to use something over the ear. And I believe they were working on some over the ear headphones, so they could be just bringing that into the headset as well, buy those as an add-on sort of thing. But so far, pretty good. The quality's pretty good. It's not running hot. The E4 can run quite hot, but I guess because this hasn't got inside-out cameras and that sort of thing, it doesn't run warm. I think it looks pretty cool. I definitely think it looks nicer than the white version. The white version just looks super grubby all the time, whereas this looks nice and clear. Oh, someone just smashed into me. Oh, I can see him flying in the background. But overall, quality-wise, as far as I can tell, everything looks nice and crispy. There's maybe a little bit of bounce when you bob your head up and down like this, but if you're just looking around normally, it looks nice. You couldn't tell you weren't in 6 DOF. You would be convinced that you're in 3 DOF, and most customers, commercial-wise, wouldn't know the difference anyway. So it's running nice and smooth. If anything, it feels like it's running a little bit smoother than the E4 itself, which is interesting, but I don't know if that's true. That's just my perception anyway. So let's take a closer look at the E4C. So as I say, it is nice and black, nice and cool. No light on the front though, like the normal E4 has. So here's the normal E4, the sort of consumer version. And although we've got our sticker on the front there, you can just about see a light underneath. That's kind of cool, but nobody really ever sees that on the racing. So they do look a little bit different. Size-wise, they're pretty much exactly the same. The E4 normal version has some little vents in the top and the bottom to, I think, let more air in and out, keep them cool. As I say, comes with a few extra little accessories. The facial interface on the default E4 is this kind of like floppy sort of silicone-y type thing, which I think works really well for commercial use because it kind of just rests off the face. There's more the head strap holding the head strap onto them, and as you can see, I've taken the top strap off because it just pops off. Well, I feel it pushes the headset off your head. You will notice that the cable itself is noticeably thinner on the original E4, and I guess that's probably partly because there's two USBs coming down here to deliver power, whereas this is getting its power so it's just from a straight power cable. It's actually plugged into the wall, whereas this one's just two USBs and the display port. The box at the end there, that's huge, look, that's the normal E4, the white one, and it's got a headphone jack. This one now, it's down to that size, so you can sort of see the size difference between the two boxes now. It is massive. That's much, much better. That is ridiculous. Don't have that. It has a headphone jack that does work, and you do need it because the E4 does put out mediocre sound out of the top of the strap here, and the E4C does have those same slots, but they're not real. Well, if they are, I can't get them to work. But so far, pretty impressed. It is quite a nice little headset. Would you buy it over the E4? Commercially, I think if you were kind of looking for the most simple, straightforward, easy to use headset, you probably wouldn't go far wrong grabbing this one, especially for sim racing. The head strap's nice and sort of tightenable. You can go down quite small. We go all the way down. It's got this dial on the back. The cable does kind of get in the way of tightening that dial a little bit because it's a thicker cable now. It is actually harder to wind in, but that's how small it goes. Definitely can't get that over my head. And the interface isn't great, but I think and I hope they're going to bring out a better version, or when they commercially sort of send these out, mass produce them, it's not this sort of headset. It's more of a facial interface. It's more of kind of a pleather, or at the very least the silicone version, but it is sort of velcroed on, so you could take it off and you could put some other cover on it or whatever. It'd mostly fit. I can't imagine it would make much difference if you just put on a normal sort of Quest padding or anything like that. So overall, the headset's pretty nice. We'll have to have a little jump on the website now, compare some stats, some figures, and some prices, and sort of give my kind of final thoughts and opinions on it. So let's have a quick look at the website, compare some stats and that sort of thing. So we've got the DPVR website here. If you go to Enterprise, PC tethered 3 DOF, you have the E4C, which is over here. So black headset, starts at $398, so that's without controllers, no audio, unless you plug something in. But a pretty much straightforward plug and play PC VR 3 DOF headset. So for sim racing and stuff like that, perfect. You can sort of see if you scroll down here, they kind of intend you to mainly use it with these kind of like 3 DOF, 6 DOF, 9 DOF degrees of freedom sort of arcade machines and that sort of thing. So, and I've got those roller coaster machines in my shop, and the headset that we've got on there is a DPVR E3 headset, which is the older version of this, and it's rock solid. Hardly any other issues. Well, I say hardly any, not really any issues ever. Looks like you can pick up, oh, that's the old cable there, but it looks very similar. They look, if maybe they do the cable for this one about the same, maybe it might be 150 quid for a new cable if you need it. That's usually the thing that tends to go more than anything else, but that was for the older headsets. They don't offer the newer one just yet. And then they got the E4, so the DPVR E4, which is the kind of consumer version. A couple of $100 more, but I've regularly seen it come down to like sort of $400, so a very similar price. Comes with controllers, it's white. The software for it has been updated tons. So I remember when I first got a DPVR E4, I honestly didn't like it. Thought it wasn't great. Thought it was a waste of money. But since having it, they've done loads of updates, they've listened to feedback, and they have really, really updated it. So I actually now rate it as a headset. Now, I use it for myself on my racing, and it's perfect on my racing. No real issues, as I sort of say. That's what you like in a commercial environment. You want it nice and solid, reliable, good quality, and that's what you get with this headset. Comes with the accessories as well, comes with the kind of the lens protectors and that sort of thing, which the commercial version doesn't. But it's got obviously extra features, so I would say it's worth it. For me, I would probably still recommend picking up the E4, just the standard one here, and just using that one commercially. However, if you're kind of maybe a bit more serious about it, you want to use over-the-head earphones anyway for that kind of more immersive experience, then maybe the E4C is better because it is literally a bit more plug and play. With the E4, the normal version, there's a little bit nuance to software, more settings, more all sorts of stuff that you're going to need to tweak and change. You can lose tracking if lighting's not perfect and that sort of thing. Not often, and they've introduced some fail-safes for that sort of thing. Puts it in like a 3-DOF mode, which has been good so far, but it's still something you have to kind of consider. And obviously plug and play, rock solid VR where you're seated and just moving your head around, probably not going to get much better than this, and for the money actually is pretty good. So for the cost of like a Valve Index, you can get 2 or 3 of these, so perfect. And now imagine they'll do little deals if you buy a lot of them. So it's worth reaching out to them, get in touch with them, have a little conversation with them. If you're in Gloucester in the UK and you want to come down and have a little look at the headset, I'll have it here. You can have a little look and a little sort of touch of it. Maybe we can loan it out to you a little bit if you want it for a week or two. We can sort of see what we can do. Might have to charge you a little something just for the inconvenience of me not having the headset, because what I will do is I will keep it as a backup. So if, heaven forbid, touch wood, one of my DPVR E4s goes down, I can just crack this bad boy out, and literally the setup was so simple. Just install the software, launch Steam VR, plug this in first, and then it was done. There was no faffing around. You just created your standing Steam VR sort of boundary, and bosh, you're in there. Can't really complain for the setup there. And then the software just sits in the background. You never hear from it. It doesn't complain, doesn't crash. Really good. So yeah, if you're kind of interested in kind of checking this out, or you just want to have a look at it, just pop in, ask for me, and if I'm around, we can have a little look at it. You can have a closer look at the headset. I won't be able to demo it because it won't be set up, but maybe if you do want to borrow it for a little bit, let me know. But let me know what you think about this E4 headset, E4C, or maybe you're tempted by the normal E4 headset, because as I say, I still rate that now. Let me know. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't, that's fine. I'm big enough and ugly enough to take it, but do let me know in the comments down below why you didn't like it, and I'll try and do better for next time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you did, hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Now you can have a virtual high five.